After that unbelievable Season 1 finale, we all knew X-Men 97 was going to come back with something massive. But I don't think anyone expected the story to become this ambitious. Instead of bringing the team back together right away, the very first 3 episodes throw the X-Men into completely different timelines, with every group facing its own impossible challenge. Some are trapped thousands of years in the past. Others are fighting in a future completely dominated by Apocalypse, while the heroes left in the present are desperately trying to stop mutant society from falling apart. It feels less like one story and more like 3 different adventures that are all secretly connected. And by the end of episode 3, one shocking decision completely changes the direction of the season, because the biggest question is no longer how to defeat Apocalypse. It's whether Apocalypse can be stopped before he ever becomes the villain we know. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. So let's break down everything that happened in episodes 1, 2, and 3. Explain that ending and talk about what all of this could mean for the rest of the season. The X-Men are scattered across time. Season 2 wastes absolutely no time picking up where the finale left off. Instead of showing a reunited team, we immediately discover that the X-Men have been separated across history, and every timeline presents a completely different problem. One group finds themselves in ancient Egypt. Another lands in a distant future where Apocalypse's influence still dominates civilization, while the present-day timeline is left without its greatest heroes at the exact moment mutants need leadership the most. What makes these episodes so interesting is that they don't rush to reunite everyone. Instead, they allow each storyline to breathe, giving every timeline its own mysteries, emotional moments, and dangers. The result is that the opening 3 episodes feel much larger than a typical season premiere, because every decision made in one era has the potential to completely reshape another. Magneto's attempt to rewrite history. Without question, the most fascinating storyline takes place in ancient Egypt, where Magneto comes face to face with a young En Sabah Nur long before he becomes the legendary Apocalypse. This version of Nur isn't the ruthless conqueror fans have known for decades. Instead, he's a determined young mutant who genuinely believes he's fighting for the survival of his people. He's passionate, idealistic, and still sees himself as a protector rather than a tyrant. That immediately creates one of the biggest questions of the season. Was Apocalypse always destined to become evil, or did something push him down that path? Magneto believes he knows the answer. Rather than treating Nur as an enemy, he sees someone who reminds him of himself. Both have experienced persecution, both have watched powerful people oppress the weak, and both believe mutants deserve a better future. Magneto becomes convinced that history isn't fixed, and that if he can mentor Nur now, he can prevent Apocalypse from ever existing. In his mind, he isn't changing history for selfish reasons, he's trying to save mutant kind from centuries of suffering. But that's exactly why the ending becomes so unsettling. Throughout episode 3, the series constantly hints that Magneto may actually be making history happen instead of preventing it. Every lesson he teaches Nur, every conversation they have, and every attempt to guide him toward a better future could unknowingly become the foundation of Apocalypse's famous philosophy of survival of the fittest. It's a brilliant twist because Magneto genuinely believes he's doing the right thing, yet the audience is left wondering whether his actions will create the very monster he's trying to erase. The final cliffhanger leaves that question unanswered, making this one of the most intriguing storylines the series has ever explored. The X-Men get reunited in the 37th century. While Magneto is trying to rewrite the past, Cyclops and Jean Grey experience a completely different emotional journey in the far future. They arrive in the year 3960, where they finally reunite with their son Nathan Summers. Of course, Nathan is no longer the helpless baby they were forced to send into the future. He's growing into the legendary warrior fans know as Cable, training every day to prepare for the inevitable war against Apocalypse. This reunion becomes one of the emotional highlights of the premiere because Scott and Jean finally get to see the life they sacrificed everything to protect. They watch Nathan developing both his incredible psychic powers and his optic abilities, and for a brief moment it almost feels like they can be a family again. But X-Men stories have never been known for happy endings, and this reunion is no exception. The mysterious Mother Askani is revealed to be Rachel Summers, another member of the incredibly complicated Summers family who has traveled through time herself. She has dedicated her life to ensuring Nathan fulfills his destiny because the future depends on it. That destiny becomes impossible to ignore when Forge finally arrives with a way to return everyone to the present. Scott and Jean suddenly realize they have to make the same heartbreaking decision all over again. They must leave Nathan behind once more so he can eventually become Cable. It's an incredibly emotional moment because they finally have another chance to be parents, only to willingly walk away again for the sake of saving the future. These episodes also introduce another terrifying concept known as the Final Horsemen. Unlike Apocalypse's traditional horsemen, this group exists as a backup plan designed to continue his mission even if Apocalypse himself is somehow erased from history. That means defeating one man may no longer be enough because his ideology has already survived beyond him.
We're not the bad guys here.
It's not about good or bad. It's about authority.
The fight between X-Force and X-Factor. While different members of the X-Men struggle across history, the present-day timeline begins falling into chaos. With so many legendary heroes missing, Mutantkind desperately needs new leadership. Instead of one united team stepping forward, two entirely different groups emerge, each believing they have the correct answer for protecting mutants. The first is X-Force, led by the adult Cable. Having spent his life fighting brutal wars across time, Cable has developed a much harsher philosophy than Professor Xavier ever embraced. His approach is simple: if someone threatens Mutantkind, eliminate the threat before it grows even stronger. He recruits younger heroes like Jubilee and Sunspot, introducing them to a far more aggressive style of heroism where victory often comes before idealism. This immediately creates tension, especially for Jubilee, because she isn't comfortable with Cable's willingness to use extreme methods. She believes heroes should inspire hope, while Cable believes survival sometimes requires making impossible choices. Standing on the opposite side is X-Factor, led by Havoc alongside Polaris. Unlike X-Force, this team chooses to cooperate with the government, hoping official recognition can finally improve relations between humans and mutants. On paper, it sounds like the responsible path, but it quickly becomes obvious that the government doesn't truly view mutants as equals. Instead, X-Factor slowly discovers they're being used as political tools by people who still don't trust Mutantkind. Havoc and his teammates find themselves trapped between maintaining public support and realizing the system they're serving may never genuinely accept them. The conflict between these two teams perfectly mirrors the classic ideological battle that has always existed between Professor Xavier and Magneto. One side believes cooperation is still possible, while the other believes strength is the only language the world understands. Even without the original X-Men together, those same philosophical arguments continue shaping the future of Mutantkind, proving that their greatest conflict has never really been about powers. It's been about how to survive in a world that constantly fears them.
The weapons of the weak.
No, please, no!
The ending. By the time episode 3 comes to an end, the story has become far more complicated than simply stopping Apocalypse. Magneto believes he's saving history by mentoring young En Sabah Nur, but every clue suggests he may actually be creating the future he wants to prevent. Cyclops and Jean finally reunite with Nathan, only to sacrifice their happiness once again because destiny demands it. The Final Horsemen reveal that Apocalypse's legacy extends far beyond a single individual, making the future even more dangerous than anyone expected. Meanwhile, the present-day mutants are already divided by competing visions of how they should protect their people, and those divisions threaten to become just as dangerous as any supervillain. Our nerdy thoughts. What makes these opening episodes so compelling is that every storyline revolves around the same central idea. Can destiny actually be changed, or does every attempt to rewrite history simply become another part of it? Magneto thinks one act of compassion can reshape centuries of violence, but time travel stories rarely work that way. Every choice seems to create another consequence, and every attempt to fix the future only makes the timeline even more unstable. If these first 3 episodes are any indication, Season 2 isn't just telling another superhero adventure. It's exploring whether people can truly escape the paths history has written for them. With heroes scattered across thousands of years, Apocalypse's origin hanging in the balance, and Mutantkind already beginning to fracture in the present, the X-Men are facing a battle unlike anything they've experienced before. And if that final cliffhanger is anything to go by, the biggest twists of the season are still waiting just ahead. And that's everything you need to know about the ending of X-Men 97, Season 2, Episodes 1, 2, and 3. With Magneto trying to change history, Apocalypse's origin hanging in the balance, and the X-Men still scattered across time, the story's only getting bigger from here. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Nerdy Show, and let me know in the comments. Do you think Magneto will change the future, or accidentally create Apocalypse? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.